Hi there, this is Gerard Welbrock, and you're tuned in to Tiger Talk. We're going to talk some women's basketball with head coach Tony Hobson and men's hoops with Mark Johnson. It's all coming up right after this on Tiger Talk.
At Eagle Communications, we're proud to provide the communications services you need to get the most from today's technology. Our employee owners make it happen. We're part of your community, and we take pride in delivering excellent customer service. If you ever have a question, give us a call. We're here to help. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another installment of Tiger Talk. Gerard Welbrock, soon to be joined by head women's basketball coach Tony Hobson and men's coach Mark Johnson. Fort Hays State coming off a good week, picking up non-conference home wins over Newman University and Sterling College as they get ready for conference play, which will get underway coming up on Wednesday. Tiger Talk presented by the Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA. Back with head women's coach Tony Hobson next, right here on Tiger Talk. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Welbrock joined by women's basketball coach Tony Hobson. The Tigers off to a 6-0 start. Couple of nice wins this past week, knocking off Newman on Tuesday and then a victory over Sterling College on Saturday, their final tune-up before the start of MIAA play, which I'm sure we'll discuss here a little bit later on in the program. But, Coach, congratulations, 6-0 through the non-conference slate. I guess considering you've probably had one of your more difficult non-conference schedules through the first six, I'd imagine you're relatively pleased.
Well, at this point, I think we're improving on a game-by-game basis. That's the main thing. Especially going into the Newman game, I thought we played better than we had yet to date. We may have not quite approached that on Saturday, but I thought on Tuesday against Newman we played excellent defense, held them down, and played with a lot of energy and shot the ball well and just did some things better than we had been.
Yeah, we talked about this team struggles shooting the ball here early on, and the Newman game you came out firing, knocked in some shots, and it's amazing what knocking a few shots in will make a team look so much better, because I thought you would have been playing really good basketball, just weren't hitting shots. And on Tuesday night against Newman, you did, and you saw the final result, 76-34.
Well, it just you cannot get any flow to a game when you know you're just missing everything, and the kids sometimes get a little discouraged, then they get hesitant in what shots to take and whether they should be passing it or shooting it, and then that just adds to the problem. So once Chelsea kind of got us off to a good start, and I thought we relaxed, and everybody just shot the ball better, and then you get into a flow and you get confident, and that's kind of what happened on Tuesday.
Yeah, Chelsea hits 5 of 8 from 3, and it seems like she can knock a couple in early. She can get in that rhythm, but didn't shoot as well Saturday for her, but it seems like she's not forcing as many and realizing, hey, maybe the three-point shot's not there, go for a little bit higher percentage. It seems like she's adjusted her game pretty good in that regard.
Well, she has, and I think sometimes she doesn't realize that she can get much better shots if she just expends a little more energy and maybe is a little more patient, and then attacks the basket, or even her one dribble pull-up is pretty effective. So she's matured into that a little bit and understands that number one, we have other kids on the team that can score, and number two, that if she's patient, the ball will usually get back around to her if she moves well without the ball and just waits.
Good to see Paige Lunsford get in a rhythm offensively. She's been playing really well on the defensive end and doing everything you'd ask, but knocked in a couple of shots, hit a couple of three-pointers, and it was good to see her get on track offensively.
It was, and the thing about Paige is she never really forces anything. She doesn't take a lot of shots, but we're going to need her to be able to hit those threes because a lot of times she's going to have a big kid Gardner, and she's going to have the opportunity out there. So we need her to make one or two of those a game just to kind of loosen things up. And I've noticed just in the past week to 10 days, her shot's looking a lot better. She looks more comfortable.
Maybe a surprise how convincingly you won the Newman game, but you could tell your team is really ready to go. A team that had won some games, picked up a big win on the road at Regis, and we saw how competitive they were when they played at the Coliseum. For your team to win like that is kind of a statement game in a way, even though it's very early on, but the way they came out focused and locked in had to be good to see.
Well, I think our kids finally realized that this was a game that if they didn't play, that they could lose at home non-conference, and we haven't lost a non-conference game for, I don't know, many years, probably 6. I can't even think back. So, well, I guess we did lose one on the road last year to Concordia, but it just at home. I thought we had an edge to us. We were ready to play, and as a result, I thought we got better shots. And you're not just quicker defensively and rebounding, but you actually, you execute better, you cut harder, and as a result, you get a better shot. And I think that's one reason we shot the ball at such a high clip.
The Tigers get the win on Tuesday. They knock off Newman 76-34. We'll talk about Saturday's win over Sterling College after the break and then preview a big week as MIAA play. Believe it or not, it is here. It gets underway on Wednesday as Washburn comes to town. We'll talk about all of that and more as Tiger Talk continues. It's brought to you by the Golden Corral Buffet and Grill just north of the interstate in Hayes. And we're back with more right after this.
They're growing up and getting busier. Between school, sports, dance, sleepovers, you want to make sure they can always reach you when they need to. Nextech Wireless has the perfect cell phone starter plan. For only $40 per month, it includes unlimited data, calling, and texting. There are no contracts or overages, so they can call, text, YouTube, and stream all they want. Plus, smartphones start at just $150. Certain restrictions apply. Get the $40 WOW Unlimited plan at Nextech Wireless.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock, head women's coach Tony Hobson. It's brought to you by the Golden Corral Buffet and Grill. And for a limited time, you can enjoy their Meat Lovers Spectacular. The dinner buffet includes steak, jumbo shrimp, bone-in catfish, and carved spare ribs. It's everything you like, as much as you like, for one low price at the Golden Corral. Best buffet in the USA. Tigers got their 6th win of the season Saturday. They knocked off Sterling College out of Sterling, 94-45, and like they did on Tuesday, led 28-9 at the end of the first quarter. I guess if you can have a 28-9 lead after the first quarter, you'll take that every time out. But back-to-back games, you've been able to do that.
Well, I think we would win a lot of those games, and I like the fact that we're getting off to better starts. And Sterling going in, our kids expected to win that game, and I think teams come in really excited to play, not only in our arena, but they're playing an exhibition game against a team that it'd be like us going to K-State or whatever. So they're loose and they just play hard, and I thought they looked quicker than us at some times, and they pushed the ball well, and I thought we kind of actually the first quarter made some defensive errors that we shouldn't have. They just missed the shots. Luckily, the ball was going in the basket, so we still were able to get a good lead. But I didn't think we played as well defensively as we had been. But again, it was a game that got a lot of people in and a lot of minutes for some kids that hadn't been seeing the floor very much. So that can disrupt things a little bit too. But it was a good game. Just to get a look at everybody and run up and down the floor, and we ran a few different sets, and so I thought under the circumstances, I thought we played fine.
A couple things that still stand out. You only had 5 turnovers. You forced 26. You outscored them 33-0 off turnovers. It's something like 169-16 this year. Your team outscoring opponents off of turnovers, and we've talked about it before. That's going to have to be there with your lack of size right now.
Well, I think we only had one the first half, and that, considering, when you're trying to push the ball and you just, we're talking about travel calls, we're talking about everything. That's hard to do. But when you have the point guard play that we have, most of the time the ball's either in Beth's hands or Nikki's hands, sometimes Carly's hands. So you have point guard play that is exceptional, and they take take good care of the ball. I don't think that we'll have that big a margin when we get into conference play, but at the same time, it's going to be something I think that we're going to have to win that turnover battle to stay in games, because we're probably going to struggle at times on the boards, and sometimes we don't shoot the ball great. So we're going to have to hang our hat on being able to take the ball from them.
Well, the Tigers are ready to begin conference play. Ready or not, I guess. It starts on Wednesday, and boy, quite a week for your squad. You only open up MIAA play with Washburn and Emporia, two traditional rivals, two very good teams, always near the top of the MIAA standings. The conference did you a favor getting those two out of the way early, huh?
Well, I don't know if it's a favor, but whatever it is, we're going to have to be prepared for it and ready to go. Washburn's they're traditionally strong. They've been down a little bit the last few years, but still they're capable of beating anybody in our conference on any floor. So you have to be ready for them. They'll play physical defense. They've got good size. They'll pose some problems for us defensively on the interior. They just had a big win last week against the number 3 team in the country on their home floor, in Florida. So they're definitely capable of being an excellent team, and I think they take a lot of three-pointers. So we're going to have to, not only able to guard their 6'2" kid inside, but we're going to have to really cover up their shooters.
Traditionally, they play a little bit slower pace. I mean, they get you that half-court game. They really grind it out and really make you work defensively. It's been kind of the mainstay of Ron McHenry's team. This group look like they're doing kind of the same stuff?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, they don't do anything fancy. I mean, they don't trap you a lot. They don't press very much. You'll never see them really in a zone. But, what they do is they keep it simple, and they do what they do defensively, they do it well. And it's they just grind you, and they hedge screens hard. They're just hard to get good looks at the basket on. And we expect that to be another game that we're going to have to get some looks. We're going to have to really move without the ball, or we won't get good shots. It's not going to be a game where we can go one-on-one, I think, and score.
Real quick on Emporia, I know our emphasis is on Washburn right now, but number 1 in the country, playing really well, return a lot from last year's team that made it to the Final Four. A big marquee matchup here early in the season between two of the top programs in the conference. That should be a lot of fun.
Well, I think it will be. I'm hoping it's fun. I don't remember another time when we've played the number 1 team in the country on our home floor. I know it has never happened when we're also ranked in the top 10. So, it's probably going to be number 6 playing number 1, first week of the conference season, and it'll be an early tester, and not that Washburn won't, but these two games are just really a great way to start conference, and it should get everybody's attention, and I look forward to another matchup with them.
Should be a lot of fun. That'll be on Saturday afternoon. Of course, Washburn in town on Wednesday night. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time, and we'll see you on Wednesday at the Coliseum.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
That's Coach Tony Hobson of the Tiger women, off to a 6-0 start. Again, Washburn on Wednesday and Emporia State on Saturday. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk men's basketball with head coach Mark Johnson. That continues after the break right here on Tiger Talk.
BOS Motorsports in Hayes introduces the top off-road vehicle lineup with Polaris. The world leader in off-road innovation presents the Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, and Ace off-road vehicles right here in the heartland of BOS Motorsports in Hayes. Whether you're looking for something for the trail, the farm, the oil patch, the hunt, BOS has the ride just for you. Stop in today and ride away with yours. At BOS, customer service is number 1. Our in-house parts and service department will take care of you before, during, and after the sale. BOS Motorsports just north of I-70 at exit 159 in Hayes.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock, joined by head men's basketball coach Mark Johnson. The program brought to you again by the Golden Corral Buffet and Grill, just north of the interstate in Hayes. You can enjoy the Sunrise Breakfast Buffet starting at 7:30 on Saturdays and Sundays at the Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA. Tigers 5-0, haven't quite closed out non-conference play. They'll have another one coming up in a few weeks, but they got their final tune-ups before the start of MIAA play with a couple of nice home wins. On Tuesday, beat Newman University, and then on Saturday had to come from behind to beat Sterling College. But I guess the bottom line, you got a couple of victories to get you ready for the start of MIAA play this week, and 5-0, I guess you got to be happy with that.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, we played a couple good teams. You know, you look at our opening weekend, Sioux Falls and Southwest Minnesota. Since we played them, neither of those teams have lost since. Newman, their only loss so far this year was when we beat them. So we've played fairly well. I thought the Newman was a very good win for us. They're a quality team. Just had to find a way to slow them down, and we kind of did that the last 30 minutes of the game. And then Sterling didn't really love the way we came out and played the first half, but Sterling had some individual talented guys and kind of did the things we needed to do in the second half and got back to slowing them down and guarding, which led to some easy offensive opportunities for us and ended up with a double-figure win. So feel good about what we've accomplished, feel like we've played good teams and had success. How much that matters going forward now into conference play, who knows? Is everybody's back to 0-0 and we need to get off to a quality start since both games this week are at home, and we know how hard it is to win on the road in the MIAA, so we need to make sure we take care of business at home this week.
That Newman game, first 10 minutes, you kind of alluded to it, probably the tempo and a type of game that they were going to like, but you kind of slowed them down just enough, and then you shot it tremendously. 62% for the ball game. Obviously, if you can shoot it that well every time out, you're going to have a great chance to win the games, but defense finally took hold, and you continue to shoot it at a very good pace.
Yeah, we talked about that going into the game, and they want to play 100 to 95. I mean, that's the type of game they want to have. They want to make it an up-and-down game and kind of get you to fall into their style of play, take quick shots, where they don't have to play guard for a long, extended period of time. And we got off to a good start and then kind of got comfortable. They got the lead back, and then again from there on we kind of separated ourselves. And in a high possession game like that, you think 76 points is giving up too many, but I think in that pace of a game, if we could keep them below 80, we were going to be successful, and our guys were able to do that.
Schieber off the bench hit 3 straight threes to get them back in the game and give them that lead. You held him to only one in the second half. I think only one attempt that he made, but he gave them a shot on the arm, but you adjusted well in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, same thing happened with Sterling. We let a guy in the first half kind of go big for us, and, those guys hit threes, and, that changes the game. The three-point shot is a big part of everybody's offense, and, he got loose the first half a few times. We kind of adjusted and decided to stay out and not help off of him, and didn't let him really get going in the second half, and that was a big key for us. And then offensively, like you said, we shot 62% and 56% from three. When you do those things, if you're playing decent defense, you should win about every time.
Craig Nicholson didn't score a lot, but 8 assists in each of the game. Okay, we starting to get back to where he's distributing now. A lot of it is they make shots on the other end of it, but starting to get the ball to people in good positions to score.
Yeah, I mean, his shot will come, we think, eventually. He's kind of struggling shooting the ball, but he's still doing the things we need him to do to win. He had, 16 assists and three turnovers for the weekend. And like you said, you got to have guys deliver the ball, which he's doing, and you got to have guys at the other end to finish it. And you look at our team right now, really, I think we're averaging only 10 turnovers a game through our first 5 games. We're already plus 40 in the I think from turning over our opponent to what we're doing. So that's another key success for us is we're not turning the basketball over, meaning we're getting shots most times, and we're, when you turn it over, it leads to easy baskets, transition points for the other team.
Well, the Tigers get the win on Tuesday over Newman, 92-76. We'll talk a little bit about the Sterling win on Saturday and look ahead to the start of MIAA play Wednesday night with Washburn. We'll do that when we return. Tiger Talk presented by the Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA. Our final segment right after this.
At Eagle Communications, we're proud to provide the communication services you need to get the most from today's technology. Our employee owners make it happen. We're part of your community, and we take pride in delivering excellent customer service. If you ever have a question, give us a call. We're here to help. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk, presented by the Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA, where you can enjoy their breakfast anytime, beginning at 11. Omelets, pancakes, even biscuits and gravy for lunch or dinner at the Golden Corral, north of the interstate, open 7 days a week. Tigers pick up a couple of wins this past week. Saturday beat Sterling 86-70. Kind of touched on it in the last segment. Fell behind by 8 3 different times. We're down 7 late in the first half, but you made a nice little run, scored the final 4. I thought it was big to get it to within 3, and then obviously a much better second half for your squad.
Yeah, it was always important to close the gap when you're behind in that first half. You can get it to a manageable number, which we were able to do. Really, we didn't guard very well, and probably more important than that, we gave up way too many offensive rebounds. I think they had 9 offensive rebounds in the first half, so just weren't getting the stops and rebounds that you need. And when you don't get stops, it's hard to score enough points. And finally, in the second half, we started guarding better, held them to 28 points, 30-something, I think, shooting, low 30s. And then that leads to able for you to get out in transition and be able to score. So, we've played 5 games. I felt like that's 10 halves. 9 of the halves we've done pretty well. We had a bad half, and hopefully we can learn from that and understand we're a type of team. We're not overly big. We're not overly athletic. If we're not locked in, trying to play hard and compete, teams can take advantage of us.
Dom Somich scores 20, 16 of those coming in the second half. Took him a while to get going, but then he kind of looked like the old Dom in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, we need him to be consistent game after game. You know, that was probably a knock on him that he would readily admit last year, just wasn't prepared to be really good every night. And, we need him to be good every night for us to have a nice season. So he's played really well the first 5 games. We're getting in the conference. We're hoping he can continue this kind of success. I think he's, obviously the people are going to make some adjustments. They're going to scout a little more in conference, and he might have to be more of a facilitator at times. And I think he can do that. He's a guy that can create for others when they have to double team him.
Jake Stoppel fouled out, but a double-double, 10 points and 11 rebounds. And your top rebounder really crashed the glass hard, as you said, after you gave up a lot of too many rebounds in that first half. Did a good job in the second.
Yeah, he did. I mean, Jake, he played hard, competed, had a double-double. He's a guy that can give us some energy and some, physicalness. I feel like those other guys that come off the bench can do the same. So, those guys got to do a better job than they did the first half. I think they will. But really, when it comes to rebound, our guards got to continually do a better job. Our guards did a good job opening weekend, probably haven't rebounded as well since. We're very undersized back there, and those guys got to find a way again all year long. Each one of them needs to come up with 2 to 4 rebounds a night for us to have a chance to at least break even on the glass.
Well, the Tigers now open MIAA play on Wednesday as they host Washburn, and Saturday afternoon it's Emporia State. And Washburn certainly opened some eyes. Very first game of the year, they go up and upset the #1 team in the country, a very good Augustana squad, and have played very, very well this season. Obviously, always a good program, and looks like they're going to be really tough again this year.
Yeah, I think our whole league is going to be that way. I think our league is going to have an up season. I think there's a lot of good depth. I think even what our league's always been is depth, and you look at the kind of the bottom, I think Lincoln's a much improved team, so it's going to make it even harder. The big thing looking at them, we're talking about rebounding, and they're plus 14, and I think 14.6, maybe plus 15. That might be not leading the league or leading the country. That's a very impressive rebound margin. So I think obviously rebounding is going to be a big factor in the game, and how well we slow them down. They're got some guys that are putting up decent numbers that maybe played in a backup role last year. So they're young, kind of like we talked about that Southwest Minnesota team. There are a lot of young guys, but also a lot of guys that have been in and got experience in the program. So they'll be ready to go. Washburn with Coach Shipman's always had success. This is, like we said, an important week for us because they're home games.
Yeah, and then Saturday, it's Emporia State. They've had some injury troubles early. We'll see if they get some of those guys back, but potential to be a really big team with some pretty good guard play to go with it.
Yeah, I know. They, on paper, could be as good as anybody in their league. Like I said, their big guy, Division I transfer, Allen Kidd, who's a very talented player, has been hurt with an ankle injury and has not played yet this year. When they were out here this opening weekend, he kind of thought maybe the first week of the conference season, they were hoping he would be back. So we'll see. They've had another guy that was injured that didn't really play a whole lot when he was out here this weekend, the McKinney kid, or that opening weekend. But the McKinney kid, DePaul transfer, he's really starting to play well. So we know with Terrence Moore and all those guys, they're very capable of having a very good conference season.
Nope. Should be a very fun week of basketball as rivals Washburn and Emporia State come to the Coliseum for matchups on Wednesday and Saturday. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time, and we'll see you at the Coliseum on Wednesday.
All right, thank you.
That is head coach Mark Johnson of the Tiger men, off to a 5-0 start. And again, it's a 5:30, 7:30 doubleheader start time on a Wednesday night, and then 2 and 4 o'clock for Emporia State on Saturday afternoon as the Tigers open up conference play. It's going to wrap it up for the program. Hope you enjoyed it. It's presented again by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, the Taco Shop, G&L Tire and Automotive, Golden Bell Bank of Hayes and Ellis, Adams, Brown, Barron and Ball, Couture for men and women, Eagle Communications, and of course brought to you by the Golden Corral, just north of the interstate in Hayes. Open 7 days a week. It's the Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA. For women's coach Tony Hobson, men's coach Mark Johnson, this is Gerard Weilbrock. So long, everyone.
Around here, we believe in local values like hard work, family time, or a fair price on reliable internet from a local company. That's why Eagle Communications delivers great local values, like a range of internet options to fit your family's needs. Fast and consistent enough to power everyone's devices at once. All at reasonable prices we're proud to offer our friends and neighbors. Ready for better internet? Give us a call or visit eaglecom.net and discover our local values today.
Thanks for watching Tiger Talk. If you missed any portion of it, you can always catch the audio replay from Tiger Radio Mix 103 or the video replay at HayesPost.com. We'll see you next time right here on Tiger Talk.